Before I get started with this video, I have to give a huge shout out to Rachel Kataka. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. I believe, and I don't think I've ever seen you before, and I think this might be the first time I've ever received an email from you, or maybe one that I've actually responded to. Because like I said, I get a lot of emails, so I can't respond or do a video to every single person. But shout out to you, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. Now, myself, Mr. Superboy especially, and a couple of other black YouTubers have been talking about this little walkout or protest that these kids have been wanting to put together and had put together ever since that shooting in Parkland, Florida. And we were saying that the black teens or the black kids do not participate in this walkout whatsoever, because if you do, that you would be targeted. Well, thanks to Rachel sending me this article that's coming from Raw Story, it looks like what we said has just come into fruition, involving this teenage girl by the name of Amina Glenn. In the state of Chicago, forgive my ignorance, in the city of Chicago, Illinois, as well as other places around the establishment, but we're talking about Chicago right now, the kids were involved with the walkout. And it was a lot of kids there. Like, they covered this on the news almost all day when they weren't talking about the whole Rex Tillerson situation or anything Trump related. And you can see right here in this picture, it's kind of blurry because this is probably a screenshot of somebody who recorded her being arrested, so it's blurry. But you can tell that's her right there with the jacket on, and you can tell to the right of her in this picture that's a black cop, and the one that's actually holding her is a white cop. She got singled out in a group, a huge group, and she was the only one arrested. The only one arrested. Now, it's not saying that she was the only black kid out there, but she was the black kid that they got a hold of first. I hate to say it, but myself, Mr. Superboy, and a few others who spoke on this all have to just do a collective of saying, we told you so. We said, do not allow your kids to go out there, because they will be targets for this protest, and they will be the ones getting arrested. Now, she's the only one that I've heard of so far that has been arrested for this protest, and I'm probably sure there may be some more. I'm not entirely sure. But by them arresting her, you know what they're going to do? They're probably going to overinflate this story, and they're going to say, oh, she was being non-compliant. Oh, she threw something at the cops. She was being loud and belligerent. She used vulgar language and all kinds of other things for the reason why they arrested her. Because she was the only one they arrested. I knew this was going to happen. I would have been shocked and surprised if we went through this whole day and didn't hear about anyone being arrested. But here we are. I'm going to read this article from Raw Story. It says, during a walkout gun violence protest at a Chicago high school, police arrested just one teen out of a large group for walking on a busy street. Now listen to that. It says for walking on a busy street, and she was the only one they arrested. Weren't they all walking on a busy street? They make it seem like all of them must have been walking on the sidewalk or walking in a grassy area, and she was the only one that was walking on the street. Pete Grieve, the student editor-in-chief of the University of Chicago Maroon newspaper, posted a video of Kenwood Academy Jr. Amina Glenn being taken away by police in handcuffs as he and her classmates followed them. What did she do? A person in the video asked the police as they took Glenn away. Following the student's arrest, Kenwood senior Simone Irogbu told Grieve that they would not be returning back to school until they learned what had happened with Glenn. Irogbu says she and her classmates had repeatedly called the Chicago Police Department and were arranging for legal representation for her prior to her release a few hours later. Simone Irogbu, a senior, says they're not going back to class till cops tell them what's going on with junior Amina Glenn, who was arrested. Irogbu noted that Glenn was arrested for entering the busy Lakeshore Drive, but that many others walked on the street with her, causing her arrest to appear suspicious in her eyes. Grieve provided video of many others running onto Lakeshore as well. In a statement, CPD said the student was arrested for disrupting traffic and reckless conduct. What did I tell you? I told you they were going to overinflate that story as to the reason why they arrested her. And the thing is, if that's the case and everyone else was in the street, then why didn't they arrest anybody else? Why did they only go after her? We know why, but we'll continue. Another journalist, Elizabeth King, soon learned that charges against Glenn had been dropped. I was about to read somebody's tweet. But yeah, this is exactly why myself and others had told many people to not go out to this protest if you were black, because they were going to single you out. And here we go. There it is right there. I'm glad the charges against her were dropped. But do they really need to question as to why she was singled out? That's the one thing black people have to get out of the habit of doing. Don't give them any kind of sarcastic entry questions saying, why was this person arrested? You know why they were arrested. Just flat out say you know why they were arrested and keep going from there. Don't ask them why, because they're going to give you a BS response. And they always do. But we told you so. We try to tell people that the black kids do not need to be out there. They should have just stayed in the school. See, and to be honest, a lot of them who went out there, they weren't really for that cause. They probably went out there because they didn't do last night's homework assignment. They didn't study for that test that was coming up. They probably didn't like their teacher, and they were just following the crowd. Many of them just saw this as a way to get out of school, or probably use this as getting attention. Some of them probably don't even know why the hell they were out there. They just went out there just to go out there. I hate to have to frame it that way, but let's just be honest here. Do you really think all those kids who went out on that walkout today were a part of the cause, quote unquote? If you think that they were, then you are extremely naive. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.